Last week, we talked about the leaked trailer for Snow White, which came from Ukraine. Now Disney has gotten ahead of the problem and posted the real trailer for Snow White. So far, the responses are not great.
Let me refresh just to see what we're at here. It's going to start playing, so I'll pause it. So we are, again, and before I say this, guys, I'm going to preface the validity of dislike extensions is up for debate, and I know that plenty of people have made videos on it.
Well, some people say that the dislike extension shows you the dislike ratio for other people who also have the extension, which changes it.
Because people who are interested in the dislikes would be more likely to have it.
Which is why YouTube never should have, gotten rid of the dislike button in the first place. It's like literally just there to make you feel better.
40,000 dislikes to just 7.9 thousand upvotes.
Yeah, this has been up for 5 hours, and the views are shockingly low.
341,000 views for something that feels like it should have way more than that in 5 hours?
Yeah, from the official Disney account, which has Mufasa as its profile picture. The views are shockingly low. All of the comments that I've seen so far are negative. They're getting ratioed in the likes to dislikes. So, yeah, as you said, the anticipation is low, the dislikes are high, and I can't say I'm surprised.
My favorite comment was somebody says, if I was watching this on a plane, I'd still walk out.
Well, we have more people asking them to make the evil queen win in the end.
That would be funny.
Just do an alternate ending.
Look,
hoodwink everybody.
They did that would be great. Let's. Do you want to watch the trailer? Or should we just go ahead and do this then?
All right, let's
go ahead and play.
Do it.
All right, guys, bear with us here. Here we go.
This was my father's kingdom, a place of fairness. But the queen changed everything.
Take him away,
Your Majesty.
What did you say?
The people need some kindness.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated. Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
Famed is thy beauty, Majesty. But the lovely maiden I now behold.
I look at you, and I just want to be the fairest of them all.
The queen is evil. You must flee into the woods.
My parents always said this forest was a magical place. Hello? Is there anybody here? What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
You'll be safe from the queen here.
The queen stole everything from all of us. We're gonna need your help. It's time to restore our kingdom.
Waiting on a wish, holding out for someday, hoping somehow, some way, here comes a miracle.
Find Snow White.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
I'm sorry, my dear. Did I frighten you?
One thing I want to point out quick that I thought was very interesting before we get into more of it.
The people need some kind.
Right here, listen to how she says this line.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
And then listen to it from the leaked version.
Is it way different?
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
Oh.
It's vastly different, and if you ask me, the original version was way better. It sounded more like the leaked version sounded way better. It had more actual emphasis to it. It didn't even sound like Gal Gadot in the one that they released just now. It sounded like somebody dubbed over it with just generic American voice.
Right. Her accent was coming through too much for their taste.
But I liked it. I thought it gave it more oomph, more character. Look,
we just got a 20 from, where is this? From Josh Jarvis Fields. So weird. I pull up PCC and a house short starts weirdly playing at the same time. Also from yesterday, Yo Quiero Taco Bell was an ad for 1997 and means I want Taco Bell.
Yes.
I was not around for that.
Okay. Would it kill you to go to an actual wooded area and film something? My God, the slop in this shot. You can't even tell she's there.
Yeah,
like, or she just gets lost. You know what it is? Is some production designer got carried away when they were doing storyboards, and this looks great in storyboard concept, but there's no depth of field. There's no actual emphasis on the main part of the shot, which should be her. It's just bleh, slop. And she's there in the background. Like, you want to do that for some of these closer shots. You can barely tell that she's there.
Like, you can't even discern the bunny rabbits.
Like, you want to do it for these shots. I still think you're better off going and filming in the actual woods, which allows you, the viewer, to actually connect with the people on screen more because they're in actual physical environments. But my goodness, like, not to mention, look, the faded blues that they use for the shots at the castle of her, like of the evil queen, work perfectly well as a way of distinguishing that from the stuff in the woods. But if you look at these shots here, it doesn't go from faded blues in the castle to like bright yellows and oranges. It becomes muddy oranges, and it looks like somebody dumped a bunch of mud on top of a filter, and it doesn't actually bring anything to life. It's not visually interesting. I can't critique the story. I don't care about the story. I'm a dude. I don't care about Snow White. I can critique what I think of the visuals, and this is a consistent problem with just about everything that comes out from Disney now that looks like it was all created on one large soundstage.
Well, obviously another visual problem is the CGI dwarves, because you're bringing Snow White, the animated film, to life, supposedly, and yet you are using CGI for some of the major characters. But I know you don't really care about the story. You don't have a lot of criticism in that regard. I do have a criticism of the final shot of the trailer where she's being handed the apple. Because from what I understand, you know, are they going to do a kiss to bring her back to life? Because I was told that was a consent issue in today's day and age. Plenty of critical academics. One shot of the prince character in this trailer. He didn't say any words in the trailer. He's hardly even a part of it, which is consistent with what Rachel Zegler said about his character and his significance in the movie. So I don't know if they really went back and patched any of that up. The love story is completely irrelevant.
And not other than her like handing,
But yeah, this says the CGI dwarves seem to make audience members feel disgust. The evil queen is more beautiful than the princess. Snow White.
And you wanted to talk about that because you think there's a misconception about whether she should actually be physically more beautiful when the traditional story does state that she was a beautiful person, like a beautiful, physically beautiful woman.
We have a 20 from I Am Bandit. Y'all should check out my wife's YA fantasy series, Red Fairy and Fox, on Amazon. Volume 1 version, E-version, is now free, and Volume 3 releases on December 11th. It's super based and not at all sus like those other YA fantasy novels. Let's go.
That was one of the things they were talking about in this video I was watching today on, it was like Philosophy Tube, about why academics tend to be left-leaning or leftists, and they were talking about like it got into critiques of capitalism and how the only bookstore left is Barnes and Noble. There's no Borders anymore, and they're like, what about these YA books? They're all vampires and this and that and such. No Hardy Boys anymore. It felt a little bit disconnected. It felt very like, hello there, fellow academics. I don't know much about YA, but I digress. Yes, go check out the book, guys.
The misconception I'm talking about is because people keep pointing out Gal Gadot is obviously incredibly gorgeous, and I think they're kind of piling on some hate on Rachel Zegler's looks because she has an annoying personality. I disagree. I think Rachel Zegler is also very beautiful. But they're pointing this out as if it's an inconsistency with the story. It's not supposed to be the story that the evil queen is ugly. Yeah. She's not supposed to be ugly.
No, she's envious.
In fact, if the evil queen was supposed to be ugly, then she wouldn't need a potion to make herself old and ugly. You know? Like, that just doesn't make sense.
It speaks of vanity and envy.
Right. Paranoid delusion.
Yeah.
Okay, so the evil queen is supposed to be crazy, delusional, and vicious, but beautiful on the outside. And older than Snow White, obviously. But one of the things she envies Snow White for is her purity.
Yes.
You mentioned that as a theme in the story as well. So it's not just about looks. I think some people are misinterpreting that. But regardless, Gal Gadot also has a warmth to her that it doesn't make sense for this role. Perhaps they could have chosen better.
I will say Rachel Zegler is at her best when she's singing in these things.
She's a great singer.
She seems the most at home when she's performing in that respect. The rest of the shots, they don't line up for me. Again, I gave Rachel Zegler high praise for her Hunger Games performance. I thought she did perfectly fine in that. I didn't even hate her when she did when she was in Shazam. Didn't bother me. This, I don't know. I guess one of the problems with movies like this is like, you cover it so much before it comes out that it's very, very difficult to go into in an unbiased fashion. But the trailer didn't do anything to sway me in the other direction, especially with the poor visuals.
But we've covered so much of Rachel Zegler's comments and her commentary, her political beliefs, her interviews, her personality, and none of that has reflected well on the movie. I feel like we've almost lost sight of what's actually happening in the movie. Yeah. And the political themes are hard to ignore here.
In what respect?
People pointed out here that Snow White not only saves the prince in this trailer, but she also appears to be leading a socialist revolution against the monarchy. So she has basically twisted the entire term of fairness. Okay, so fairest of them all now
you
means
think that's
the most.
you think they're taking it literally?
Yes.
Like to me, fairest means like.
No, that's literally what Rachel Zegler said
who
at
is
D23.
the most equitable of them?
No, that's literally what I remember Rachel Zegler saying at D23 is that they've twisted the meaning of the word fair from beautiful into just.
Yeah. There's a 20 we missed from Weary Traveler. It says, I will stick to my every 2-day schedule regardless of any attempts on my life. What? What?
Are you okay?
Are you okay? Let us know.
I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I noticed that
there is a Hollywood obsession with fairness.
They made Snow White into a political revolutionary in this movie.
Yes.
Like, you agree, right? Like, you got that.
Well,
I'm not just kind of extrapolating for rage bait, right?
No, that makes perfect sense.
She's leading a revolution for the kingdom, and she don't need no man to save her from the evil queen, because she's going to defeat the evil queen herself politically and stage a coup. She's going to stage a coup against the evil queen.
It also makes sense.
There's
that it's a more like the concept of fairness is a far more feminine storytelling trait, and this was written by Greta Gerwig.
This movie?
She wrote the screenplay.
Oh my! Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I mean, the idea of fairness being an extremely important factor for these things, that's very feminine.
For it to be
about fairness,
movie about political philosophy, though,
extrapolate however you want.
Instead of love,
the concept of fair. Well, in 2025, yeah, because stories about love is not something that Hollywood values.
Well, thanks. I hate it. I don't know what else to say. It's just, if you wanted to make a movie about a princess leading a political revolution against her stepmother, you can make that, but just don't call it Snow White.
John in the chat says Snow Guevara.
Oh no. And I just saw snow Mexicans trending on Twitter today,
Well, yeah,
referring to
I mean, everybody
Canadians.
knows that's a Frostback is a Canadian.
What did you think of the movie poster?
Fine, but
What'd you
soulless.
think?
Again, soulless. But I miss the movie posters of old. You know, prior to the 2000s. It
Yeah.
didn't work for me.
They really screwed over Rachel Zegler with the haircut too.
Yeah, it doesn't help her
It's
at all.
it's always giving Lord Farquaad.
And again, guys, remember the budget on this movie is reportedly $209 million after receiving tax credits for filming in the UK. I don't know if I buy that a movie that went through this many rounds of reshoots and had initial principal photography in the year 2022 to even be possible to be made for just $209 million. I think the budget was probably likely much, much higher than that. Just by virtue of it sitting on the shelves for this long indicates as such. And we'll have to wait and see. I don't think this movie is going to do as well as something like Moana is doing right now. I think it ends up being closer to The Little Mermaid.
In
500 million.
the
Mid fives.
Yeah.
500 to 600 million.
I don't know.
We'll
It's
have to
hard
wait
to
and see.
tell. There's definitely more anticipation for how bad it will be than The Little Mermaid, because Halle Bailey didn't do anything to sabotage it other than just being the race swapped character.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I don't have any. I also like that it said the classic tale brought to life, which technically isn't true because they're not even telling the same story at this point.
Even the animated film wasn't the classic tale, so we're getting too derivative at this point.
Look, I bet you the budget was far higher than $200 million. It'll be interesting to see what the route they go as far as marketing. Like, are they going to just dump millions into marketing like Wicked is doing right now with their Planned Parenthood collaborations and their disgusting vomit mac and cheese?
Yeah, they're going to promote Snow White with a Planned Parenthood collab. I can't think of anything more fitting.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.